Well, after some time and work, here is Week 7 of the 2019 DCFL season. When we last left off in Week 6, here's the current standings you see in the Eastern Conference. New York still number 1, still undefeated, with my Charm being second and the Charlotte Bobcats third place, followed by Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, and Jacksonville. And in the Western Conference, Indianapolis still leads undefeated in that division, with Chicago and Oakland right behind, followed by Phoenix, LA, and Seattle. So we start off Week 7 with my Charm visiting the Philadelphia Sonics, as my Charm have won 5 in a row, still having an incredible season so far, as still have the second seed in the division. Need a win and Anthony's team to lose to have any shot to get back in the first seed. Meanwhile, the Sonics have lost 4 in a row now, and yikes, nothing's looking right for them as they've been blown out 3 weeks in a row now. And my Charm would win it in a close one, 31-28. Saving grace for me was the first field goal to get the game, because the Sonics kept up with the Charm throughout the entire game, and the Sonics actually were making a comeback, and they had the ball. They did an onside kick, got the ball going into my territory, but time ran out before they can go for a field goal or try and get the win, so I got really lucky there, as I had 500 yards of offense. This game was all offense pretty much, as my team's now won 6 in a row, as the Sonics have now lost 5 in a row, as they're still 5th place in that division. Then after that, it's the New York Gangsters visiting the Charlotte Bobcats, as the Gangsters, still one of the 2 remaining undefeated teams in the league, trying to keep that going. Already matched their win total from last year. Meanwhile, the Bobcats trying to win 3 in a row to try and maintain that 3rd seed and to catch up with me and Anthony's team. And the Bobcats would win it 20-17 to finally give New York their first loss of the year, as their offense was completely and utterly shut down. Even though they got 3 fumbles and recovered 2 of them, they had to suffer the onslaught of Charlotte's defense with 5 sacks and an interception, a fumble recovery, and one of the scores being returned back for a score, which really hurt them. Oh man, they couldn't get anything going after that really hard-hitting Charlotte defense, as the Bobcats are now 5-2, as New York is now 6-1. How about that? New York, Baltimore, and Charlotte, all the 3 teams in the playoffs right now, within a game of each other. That is incredible. After that is the Pittsburgh Power visiting the Jacksonville Scouts, as, oh boy, this is a bad game right now, as Pittsburgh win the first 2 games in overtime, have now lost 4 in a row. Meanwhile, Jacksonville has lost their first 6 games of the year, as nothing is going right for them, and these 2 teams desperately need a win right now. And Jacksonville made the comeback and won the game 33-30 to get their first win of the year. Oh man, Pittsburgh made an incredible comeback, and then Jacksonville made the comeback, and then Jacksonville's defense stopped Pittsburgh twice in the red zone with 2 turnovers to seal the victory. Oh man, finally Jacksonville got their first win of the year at Pittsburgh's expense, as they lost 5 in a row now. As Jacksonville, now with this needed win, now they need to get a whole bunch of momentum going to have any chance of making it back into the playoff race. Then with that out of the way, we go to the Western Conference, starting off with the Indianapolis Rapid Stallions visiting the Phoenix Devils, as Indianapolis now remains the only undefeated team remaining, as they're trying to keep up their big lead in their division, as they have to visit the Phoenix Devils, as this could be an offensive shootout. And Indianapolis would win it in a defensive struggle, believe it or not, 23-16. As you can see, other than the first quarter, the game they tied score-wise, except for that first touchdown that Indianapolis got, and that was very neat because they struggled badly in this game. In fact, Phoenix got more yards than Indianapolis. Indianapolis barely even got 300 yards in this game. But in the end, they still won, and against a divisional opponent, as they now remain still undefeated for another week. And after that, it's a big one in the Western Conference, as the Chicago Stallions visit the Oakland Pillagers. Whoever wins this game will have the 2nd seed right behind Indianapolis in the Western Conference, so this is a huge game between these 2 teams. And Chicago would make an incredible comeback to win it 24-21, as they were down 21-9 in the 4th quarter, and then they scored 15 unanswered points to get the win 24-21, as Oakland put up 300 yards of offense. Their defense got 3 sacks and forced 2 turnovers, but they suffered against 5 sacks from Chicago. But more importantly, Oakland was 1-9 on 3rd down. 1-9. And that was a major killer for Oakland as Chicago made that comeback. They're 5-2. Oakland's now lost 3 in a row, and yikes. They're third in the division with a losing record. That's not very good. And then the final game of the week is the Seattle Tenyo visiting the LA Mean Green Machines, as Seattle's still struggling badly after getting shut out last week when they visited my charm. Meanwhile, LA got a big victory last week, as they're now 2-4, trying to keep the momentum up to get themselves back into playoffs, as they now have a better shot now with Oakland losing. And LA dominates Seattle 35-14, as they were up 35-0 at one point, as they put up almost 400 yards of offense, and their defense showed up, forcing 4 sacks and a pick, outplaying Seattle's defense, believe it or not, as Seattle once again couldn't even put up 240 yards of offense. Their offense continues to absolutely sputter. But hey, one highlight for Seattle is they were 3 for 3 on third down, so they had a 100% conversion percentage. But even so, yikes. What a very awful season this has been so far. The exact opposite of what it was last year in terms of the record at this point. But hey, how about that? LA now 3-4 and right to the playoff mix right now. And with that, Week 7's in the books as we see the updated standings. In the Eastern Conference right now, New York has the tiebreaker over my charm because they beat us the first week. So as long as we remain tied until we play again, they have the lead, as I'm still second seed, and Charlotte maintained their third seed. As Pittsburgh, Jacksonville, and Philadelphia have all lost momentum pretty much, except Jacksonville, who gained some momentum with that win. And now in the Western Conference, of course, Indianapolis still leading that division with Chicago second. How about that? Oakland, third seed, barely holding on, with LA coming up right behind with a losing record. That's not looking good for them. And then Phoenix and Seattle wrap out the bottom of that conference. And now we finally wrap it up by taking a look at the Week 8 schedule now, as it'll be big one, starting off with my charm visiting Oakland, then Charlotte visiting Seattle, Phoenix visiting Jacksonville, and then another big one as LA visits New York, and then Indianapolis at Pittsburgh, and then finally Philadelphia at Chicago. And with that, Week 7 is over, and wow, just like that, we're almost not even a month in to simulating, we're almost halfway through the season. That's incredible. So see you guys soon for Week 8 of the 2019 DCFL season.